Hello YouTube, back with another versus video. Kids are asleep, so I thought why not. Quite enjoying these. So in this one I'm going to be putting Ridge Racer, the first one, against Daytona on the Saturn. Now I think obviously these two games were very well compared when they first come out, and I think the Saturn version of Daytona really did some long-term damage to the console. You know, I think when you compared it to this game blew it away, because this literally was arcade perfect. Obviously in the arcade Daytona was head and shoulders above this, but as a home port this game was pretty much spot on. I mean, it looks good now. I think the textures are nice. It runs very smoothly, very solidly, 50 frames per second. You've got some basic lighting effects that still look quite nice. The colours really pop in this, I think. Ridge Racer isn't for everyone. You know, the controls they're almost like hovercrafty, but I think it's a fun game. I think the original PlayStation sort of quartet of games are very good. Probably more so the original three: Ridge Racer, Ridge Racer Revolution, and Ridge Racer R4 was a bit kind of Gran Turismo-y. They tried it more kind of for the modifications, didn't they? Back in the day, they loved these cheesy introductions, didn't they? Don't really know why this car is in it, because that is exactly the same but with better handling and traction, so why you would go for that one? It offers no benefit. Maximum speed, acceleration, handling, this is obviously the best all-rounder. Used to love the music in Ridge Racer as well. How do you play him? What a damnation. I remember playing this like back in the day and coming into this sort of tunnel, and it felt like, oh my god. And even the sound effects, you can tell the exhaust note changes when it's in the tunnel. Little touches. The thing with Ridge Racer is all about power drifting, ain't it? And it's all about the racing line. It's very particular. It can get a bit frustrating if you're like a bit of a newbie to it, because you have a habit of just sort of bouncing off of the walls. A little bit of pop up. I felt this view works very well in Ridge Racer. The sort of like the driver eyes always work the best. The only games that I found this really works is this and Gran Turismo. I think the behind the car view doesn't really work too well. Kind of dilutes the feel of the car. It's pretty easy, this track. It's a new record.
Great job. I got everything on camera, so you'll watch it later, huh? You're the greatest.
It is, to all intents and purposes, just an art. It is pretty much a perfect arcade port, really. Start.
Wow, what a start! This is just what I wanted to see. 3 laps to go.
I remember back in the day, a mate of mine had Ridge Racer Revolution, and the whole of the half term that we were off, we were trying to unblock the, get the Angel and Devil car. And you can only get them when you've completed everything on the game, and you've got to race. I think it's the Devil car's the hardest. It's nigh on impossible. Just got to race the perfect race the whole time he's on your arse. So that's a nice touch how it sort of goes from light to dark, night to day. There's something really nostalgic about the original Ridge Racer, I find. I think this as well, compared to later PlayStation racing games, this, for a launch title, they nailed this spot on, didn't they? This and Tekken. You think when you were a Sega fan, seeing the original Virtua Fighter running a bit kind of sloppy on the Saturn, and then Daytona, which what the thing with Daytona is, whilst it's it feels like the arcade game, but graphically it looks like it's running on the 32X, as we'll find out soon. Right, I think we're going to stick on Daytona. So. So, Daytona, USA. So the first thing that you notice is the frame rate. Whereas Ridge Racer's consistently 30, you know, this is, I know this has been dissected, and I know it runs at 20, 15 to 20.
Please select a race course.
Do you want to do that?
Please select a race course. Beginner. Please choose manual or automatic transmission. Gentlemen, start your engines.
First thing you notice is the draw distance is dramatically reduced, sort of compared to Ridge Racer. While there's a bit of pop-up in Ridge Racer, it's nowhere near what it's like on this. I think some of this, asking the Saturn to do this was probably a little bit too much. You know, so early on. Apparently they developed it, AM2 developed it in 4 months. Which is, you know, I'm no developer, but I'd imagine, oh shit, I would imagine that's not enough time. I think it's a standalone game. It's not bad. You know, there's a lot of cars on screen as well. But I just think that, as I said earlier, the long-term effects of this up against Ridge Racer, I think, were felt for quite a few years after. Oh, for goodness sake. Never got used to the handling in Daytona, like the drift mechanic. I can never quite figure it out. I mean, if you want to play this nowadays, there's a fantastic version of it on download on the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store, where they enhance so much to it. It runs at obviously 60 frames per second. Widescreen mode, it looks fantastic. Well worth a download. Probably worth, it's on PS3 and 360, so it's probably worth doing it sooner rather than late before them servers get shut down. Right, we'll try one more track.
Now, list your name with the other champions.
Looks brilliant on a CRT, I must admit that. Both games do.
Please select a race course. Advanced.
Advanced.
Please choose manual or automatic transmission. Gentlemen, start your engine.
Do, 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 do.
And they're underway.
Let's go away. So there is a sequel to this called Champion Circuit Edition, which graphically is a much more kind of solid game. It's kind of more like what they did with Virtua Fighter Remix. They kind of went back to it and fixed a lot of the bugs, but the handling is slightly off with it. It feels a bit kind of less responsive than this one. And then you've got the Dreamcast version, which is not really based on this, because it's not. From what I remember, that one is done by Smilebit rather than AM2. Again, handling it's very. They kind of almost drift as soon as you hit, you know, left or right, and it just. I think it's definitely. It's a decent game in its own right, but you need to sort of persevere with it. But again, it's not a kind of. It hasn't got the feel of the arcade original. There's an actual a Daytona cab in my local arcade in my town. I think at the moment it's 20p a go. It's a dual sit down one. Don't see many of them up in the wild nowadays, do you? Obviously you see that sort of thing in arcade club and those sort of places, but don't actually see them out and about now, for God's sake. Unfortunately, the pop-up really does kind of distract you from the driving. Ah, for goodness sake. I'm going to run out of time here. Oh, is he going to make it? Can I make it? Can I make it? Alright, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Take care.